W imieniu całego zespołu Educat dzisiaj witam serdecznie na webinarze, który jest poświęcony studiom w Niemczech, zarówno na tym poziomie licencjackim, jak i na tym poziomie magisterskim. Ja się nazywam Adam Dziedzic i jestem tutaj z ramienia Educat, gdzie zajmujemy się pomocą w aplikacji na studia za granicą od A do Z. Jest ze mną Emil z jednej z uczelni w Niemczech i jemu oddam później głos i on poprowadzi tutaj większość webinaru, opowie troszeczkę o uczelni, o możliwościach aplikacji, o możliwościach zatrudnienia, o dostępnych kierunkach. Także on tutaj całość będzie prowadził. Na wstępie natomiast parę słów o tym, czym jest Educat. Educat jest innowacyjną platformą, która łączy aspirujących studentów, obecnych uczniów szkół średnich, czy też obecnych studentów w Polsce z obecnymi studentami lub absolwentami studiów za granicą. Ci obecni studenci są teraz fizycznie na poszczególnych uczelniach na całym świecie. Takich mentorów mamy w Educat blisko 180 i to są te osoby, które pomagają Wam w aplikacji na studia za granicą, czyli dzielą się nie tylko taką wiedzą stricte teoretyczną, ale przede wszystkim udzielają Wam wiele praktycznych wskazówek, pokazują Wam, na co zwrócić uwagę przy aplikacji, jak napisać list motywacyjny, przechodzą przez ten proces razem z Wami, bazując na własnych doświadczeniach, no bo sami ten proces parę lat temu przechodzili. Pomagamy w aplikacji tak naprawdę na studia na całym świecie. Czy to będzie Wielka Brytania, czy to będą Niemcy, Holandia, Dania, Stany Zjednoczone, gdziekolwiek chcielibyście aplikować, my Wam w tym z przyjemnością pomożemy. Ja wrócę troszeczkę do tego, w czym i jak możemy Wam pomóc pod koniec naszego spotkania, natomiast teraz już chciałbym oddać głos Emilowi, który opowie Wam o uczelni SRH w Niemczech. Oni mają kilka kampusów w całym kraju, natomiast na samym początku, jeżeli mógłbym poprosić o taką informację na czacie, w którym roku zdajecie maturę, czy to jest 2024, czy 2025, czy może 2026 i dalej, oraz jakie dziedziny, jakie kierunki ewentualnie Was interesują. To pomoże nam troszeczkę sprecyzować ten webinar, sprecyzować nasze spotkanie i zindywidualizować te informacje tak, aby one były jak najbardziej przydatne właśnie Wam. Oczywiście będzie możliwość zadawania pytań. Ja już tutaj uruchomię funkcję Q&A, ona już jest dostępna. Także w prawym dolnym rogu jest funkcja czatu, jest funkcja Q&A. Jeżeli będziecie mieć jakiekolwiek pytania, to proszę zadawajcie te pytania właśnie w trybie Q&A. Umożliwi to wyświetlenie tych pytań na ekranie, tak aby każdy mógł później z tego skorzystać. I już widzę, że tutaj mamy architektura 2026, digital design 2026 i tutaj myślę, że SRH było bardzo fajną opcją. 2024 prawo, dyplomacja, stosunki międzynarodowe. Także piszcie tutaj na czacie, jakie kierunki, który rok matury. Emil, I just did a very short, brief introduction in Polish. By no means do we expect you to have understood any of that, but just as means of a short summary, I just welcomed everyone on behalf of Educat, asked everyone to write the year in which they are finalizing their Matura exams, what kind of programs they're interested in, so that it helps us with the presentation a little bit. I will now hand over to you, the expert on Germany, the expert on SRH universities in Germany. So over to you, and I will be back towards the end to help you answer with some of the questions. And by the way, if you want to ask questions in Polish, feel free to do that. You can ask them in English. Pytania mogą być zadawane albo po polsku, albo po angielsku. Odpowiemy na każde z nich. So Emil, over to you.
Okay, dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much for this introduction. Yes, I was able to understand a little bit of what you did. Thank you for this really nice introduction about your services, about SRH, and about me. And I would like also to welcome everyone to the SRH webinar. As Adam said, I am Emil Petkov. I'm the regional manager at SRH Universities, Germany, and I'm overseeing student applications from Central and Eastern European countries, including Poland. So I'm very happy to be here today. And speaking about the opportunities, I wasn't really aware of how many of you are really students in the final grade and how many of you are finishing high school this year or already have finished high school. But I hope that this webinar and information will be valuable. Even if you're in the 11th grade or the 10th grade, you will have much time to prepare for your studies. Those of you who are currently now finishing high school or to graduate this year and thinking of starting their studies in October, there is still time to send in your application, documents, and hopefully starting your studies in Germany from this autumn. So very briefly, I guess most of you are really familiar with the education in Germany. Why study in Germany? Of course, it's high quality education, it's cultural diversity, a lot of international students. It's the opportunity for language learning, although we have our programs in English, 100% English at SRH University. You can still have the option to study another language, including German, Spanish, even Arabic or Chinese. And of course, affordable living costs in most of the cities. And I would like to go to the next slide and briefly present SRH University. So this is private universities of applied sciences, a set of universities in different regions and cities in Germany, including Berlin, of course, Dresden, Leipzig, Cologne, Heidelberg, and Stuttgart. All these locations are offering bachelor or master degrees in English. So what would be mostly interested for you is that we put a lot of focus on the practical aspects of this. So probably some of you were considering applying to research universities and maybe studying medicine and diplomatic affairs and political science. Well, we are mostly concentrating on subjects like business, creative industry management, digital and creative arts, music, computer science, engineering, but all these are kind of on the mostly practical aspect. What that means? It means that thanks to our unique programs of studies and teaching, our students have the possibility to have an internship, and we can say that we have like 97% of employability rate. This means that upon graduation from our bachelor program, students are finding a job within 6 months of graduation, and this makes us in one of the top places and top universities for Germany. In a nutshell, we have like 10 campuses, more than 300 programs. We have more than 100 nationalities, and we have 2 starts. So you can start studies at SRH either in April, which is called summer semester, or in October, which is called winter semester. Regarding the teaching quality, and I know for some of you, and especially some of your parents might be asking about the accreditation. We're a University of Applied Sciences, which is more practical, but still we have German accreditation, meaning that you will receive the same German diploma as any other German university. Although we have the 10 years accreditation, which is the maximum accreditation given to any institution in Germany. We also rank really high on the CHE ranking, which is the local German ranking system. Also, we have received a very good award about the teaching model, which is called core model, and I will be speaking about this in the next slide. So, unlike other universities, we have our teaching process a little bit different. Instead of teaching all the subjects at the same time, we have 5 weeks blocks of applied studies. So you take 1 or 2, for example, subjects, and then, for example, after you finish with the 1 block of 1 subject, then only you continue to the next subject. In this way, you have enough time to reflect on the studies. You have enough time to participate in project work, in case studies, working together in smaller groups with the professor as well. And in this way, the study is much more efficient than, being stressed out with all the subjects that needs to be studied at the same time. So this core method of education is a SRH thing. It received the highest award of education and teaching style in 2018. And because of that, many employers love to work with SRH university students and SRH graduates. So on this slide, you see very familiar brands from Germany. So this is only a small part of where our students could find a job or internship. Next topic is very interesting. Apart from the employability, this is a map of our partner countries, partner universities. So apart from the internship, another thing that you can do studying with us is to take part in either an Erasmus project, for which maybe you've heard already. And apart from Erasmus, we have also international partnerships in more than 30 countries across the world. Uh, Another thing is regarding the additional competence building. So we have two things at the university. One is called wild courses, which means that you can, for example, if you study business, but you also want to get some knowledge, let's say, in the creative industry part, or maybe digital or marketing or engineering, you can take courses, mini courses from other specialties. So you can build up your program like 7 semester, which is the standard length of the bachelor degree, and you can have an 8 semester when you can build on your own from our various programs. Customize your studies, the second option. This is that you can actually choose a number of subject electives which are part of your program, but you have a choice. So you can, for example, you should choose like 2 out of 6 or 7 elective subjects, which are, for example, part of the business degree or part of the engineering or computer science. Then what we have more? Speaking about the campuses. So as I said in the beginning, we have campuses in these cities like Berlin and Heidelberg, Dresden and Hamburg, with Berlin being our biggest campus. So maybe something to consider. For some of you, maybe SRH is the first time that you hear about this university, and maybe also you're trying to understand which campus is the best for you. So first of all, and this applies not only for SRH, but for any other university choice, is just see whether the program is offered in the city that you'd like to study in. So of course, location, the city size, proximity to industry, climate if you want, or nature, or any other things that you consider important is also one of the factors for your decision. Then another factor of decision is cost of living. So I have a special slide about the cost of living in our different cities, but generally still there is a slightly big difference in the living expenses, for example, in the east of Germany, or maybe if you're going to study in a smaller town in Germany like Heidelberg, you'll probably have less expenses as compared to one of the big cities. And of course, student life is important. But here I would like to tell you that all the cities that we have campuses in are generally university cities. So there is at least one or more than one university, and there's a lot of things for students to do in these cities, including even the smallest one like Heidelberg, for example. Another exciting thing is for those of you who are considering studying in Berlin is, of course, our new campus. So our new campus in Berlin will open this autumn with 12,000 square meters. You can imagine this is like 3 separate buildings, and this is going to be the biggest and the newest university campus in Berlin. It will be home to our 4 different schools, and it will be also home to specialized engineering labs, film and photo studios, creative studios, and many more. A few pictures on the campus, still in 3D renders. By the way, actually, this is real pictures, so you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see the latest pictures from the campus. And these are some pictures of the interior and the exterior of the campus, so you can have an understanding and a feeling how would the university look like. So very modern, very ecological, and also you have the chance to communicate with students from different specialties. I promised to give you some idea about the cost of living. So you can see on this chart here, the red one is everything concerning student residences. The yellow one is the transportation cost, and the green one is the general living expenses. So I would say Berlin, Hamburg, and Cologne being one of the most expensive. In terms, you need about between 1,000 and 1,200 euro, including accommodation. And then on the other end, you have Leipzig and Dresden, which are less expensive. Then comparing to other countries in the world, so Berlin is not that expensive as, for example, New York, London, or Paris. So just an idea. Of course, depending on the your personal circumstances and the chosen city, of course, your cost of living may vary. The most important topic, what can you study? I've heard some of your choices already. I would say that those are really, like, how to say, famous choices among students. But even if you have made your choice, I would encourage you to think about another subjects or programs that you might not have thought about before, and see the program descriptions and probably consider them, because honestly, what we are offering in study programs is directly parallel to what the current companies across Europe and Germany are looking as a specialist. So maybe you want to study specialty A, but at the moment, for, let's say, for example, specialty B is more considered, and they're looking for more, for example, workers in this very main specialty. So in the business and management field, we have a general business administration program with specialization in digital marketing, business psychology, which is very interesting. It is related to HR and marketing. So if any of you here are interested in psychology or marketing or HR, this is definitely a good choice to consider. Also, healthcare management. Not many universities in Germany offering, and in Europe, healthcare management. Why is that? Because SRH, part of university, is also a big holding of companies, including hospitals in Germany and other healthcare centers, which is also considered one of the industries that will be seeking new experts and new workers. We have also creative industry management, very interesting program for all those of you who are interested in arts and music, but are not necessarily musicians or artists. Everyone who is interested in organizing, for example, festivals or be in the arts field or area, this is a very good program for it. Logistics and supply chain, this is definitely, especially after COVID, one of the top subjects, and still there are not enough workers in supply chain management, so definitely it's a good program to consider. Tourism and hospitality management, the same. There are a big shortage of professionals in the hospitality industry in Germany, and Germany still is a very big economy and market, so definitely worth considering these programs. Continuing on the creative part, we have programs such as film and motion design, photography, illustration. We have on the design and communication side, we have advertising, we have user experience design, creative industry management. On the music sound, we have audio design, music production, and popular music. Those programs which you see here require additional portfolio. They may require entrance examinations. So if any of you are interested in applying to this one, maybe the most important thing for you to consider is the portfolio. So we would expect you that you already have a portfolio to show, because actually there is a time that is needed for you to your application to be processed, and you shouldn't wait for the very last minute to apply, especially if you're thinking of starting your studies in October. On the engineering and computer science part, we are also very good, especially the fact that we are based in Berlin, and Berlin is considered the Silicon Valley of Germany. Also, the nearby Tesla factory and other factories and businesses which are concentrated on battery production and sustainable industry are not a secret why we invested in organizing education in mechanical engineering, business engineering, electrical, applied mechatronic system, and stuff like that. So for those of you who are interested a little bit more in engineering, we also offer the Siemens certification in our bachelor degrees, in our master degrees. So there are some slides. If any of you is interested in this, I will be happy to share this after the webinar. But basically, you not only receive a bachelor degree or just a title, you also receive a very valuable, how to say, certification for you, which will open doors for work not only in Germany but all over the world. And you'll understand why at the end of the presentations. I've prepared a little statistic about the starting salaries in Germany for the different field of studies. So it's also something else to consider when you're making your choices on what to study. Admission requirements, important thing. I briefly mentioned already that for all the art-related and creative-related programs, we need portfolio, but basically the two main things that you need in order to apply for us is to have very good English with a certificate in English, and you need a secondary school diploma, high school diploma. I think in Polish is maturita, if I'm not mistaken. So if you haven't finished your high school or the exams haven't passed, all you can do is to ask your school from an academic transcript showing your grades from the last 4 years of high school. That would be enough for you to apply right now. You don't need to wait for your final diploma in order to start the application process. Of course, once you get your final diploma, you can send it to us and you can enroll at the university. So two things, English language and high school qualifications. Then, depending on the program of your choice, we might require additional portfolio. CV is mostly required for most of the programs. You might need to pass a short interview with one of our study advisors and professors. Those of you who have selected a program with admission entrance examination, they will have to undergo this entrance exam online. So you don't need to travel to Germany in order to take part in the selection procedure. You can still do this from home. Another important topic is accommodation, and accommodation is a tough topic for most of you, especially if you're considering some other European countries. In Germany, actually, in our campuses, it's a different situation. I'm starting with Heidelberg, our headquarter of the university, not the biggest campus, but this is the campus where we actually have our own accommodation. So on the picture on the right side, you can see one of the rooms. We have three different categories of rooms depending on the size. Those are buildings entirely on the campus or walking distance from the university buildings. And you can see that the monthly rent average is around 500 euro, which for Germany is still a very good price. But of course, it's first time, first served basis. So you need to hurry up if consider studying in our campus in Heidelberg. In Berlin, the situation is a bit different. Unfortunately, we don't have our own accommodation, but there are plenty of so-called student residences, which are private student residences like student hotels offering studios for one or two persons. So depending on, again, the size of the studio, the price may differ. On average, it's about 800, 900 euro. But the good thing here is that you can actually it's an all-inclusive price, so it does include utilities, so you don't have to pay on top of it. And also another plus, and it is furniture, so you don't have to buy any furniture. While if you go for private apartment search, the apartments usually in Germany are not furnished, so you have to take care of all your furnitures. This is, of course, to all our new students, we're providing them with a accommodation guide, a detailed accommodation guide for Berlin and for our other campuses, where you will find all the links of the student residences, also other private accommodation options, and other important information. So basically, we're supporting the student with providing the information of what kind of accommodation options are available in the city. So I have the same information about our other campuses, so I will skip this information. But of course, if you have any specific questions about any of our cities, I'll be more than happy to have a one-on-one meeting with you and explain more in details about the options in the cities that you chose. An interesting pie chart about employability and job vacancies in Germany is showing this. It's from ADECO in 2022, and you can see that those are the percentage of the people which are involved in, let's say, engineering, 14% of all the workforce available, IT, 10% retail, and so on. So you can see that it's very fragmented. So it's not only a single subject or a single specialty. And also you can see that there are 19%, the biggest part actually says other. So it means that you have very good work opportunities, work prospects in Germany with attending private applied sciences universities with a strong focus on practical work. The next slide, as I promised, is another slide on the starting salaries for university graduates in euro. So you can see, well, law is the highest paying. Unfortunately, we don't have any law degrees at the university. We have business degrees. And then second best is medicine. We don't have medicine as well. But then the third best is computer science in terms of pay. Industrial engineering. We have a lot of engineering courses, natural sciences, business informatics, and so on. So even the smallest, the graphic design here, it says like 35,000, it's still considered not a bad salary. So you have very good prospect. You can divide this by 12, so you can imagine how much that would be per month. Another slide showing the corporate partner network that we have is, as I said, again, companies and brands that you probably are aware of. So let me explain how this works. It's very, very interesting. So apart from the studies, we have our career department at the university, and they're there to help you understand how the job market works in Germany. They will organize trainings for you about search specifically of internships and jobs in Germany. They also give you access to a specialized student platform, student employee platform, which will give access to your CV to thousands of employers in Germany. And also they also organize company visits, and they also organize some presentations of famous alumni, people who have graduated with SRH, and they come to meet you, speak to you, and just explain about their experience and their success in working in Germany. So it is very possible that you can end up in one of these companies working still as a student because of the very practical type of education that we offer. This is just the statistics. You probably know that Germany is in constant seek of qualified workers. So this is also another good prospect of you choosing Germany, and SRH is your study destination. And this graph here is just showing the difference between the path of choosing a private university and choosing a public university. In the public universities, or the so-called research universities, you will not have enough time for internship and for practical work. So basically, you'll be studying non-stop 3 or 4 years, and without internship pauses or whatever. So at the time you graduate the bachelor degree, you will have zero experience, probably. While if you choose an applied sciences university, you will have periods of work experience and studies. And also, for example, with our university, in the 6th semester and in the 7th semester, you have the opportunity to have an internship for the whole semester. So you don't have any classes, you don't have any lectures, you just go and work in a company of your choice in the chosen field of your studies. Financing, it's important. Tuition fees. So our fees are between 7,000 and 9,000 euro per year for the bachelor degrees. Of course, we have offer scholarship, and we have financing options for our students. So we have our own SRH scholarships, which are giving up to 50% discount on the first year tuition fee. Then we also have some discounts. For example, if you pay in advance, or you pay for the full year in advance, or you have a sibling studying with us. And of course, what will be most interesting to you is our financing options with Brain Capital and BAföG, available for European passport holders. And I'm happy to explain how the EU finance work for you at the end of the presentation or in one-on-one meetings. And then the only cost that actually you need to cover if you take part of the Brain Capital scheme is the enrollment fee, which is 750 euro. You have to pay before the start of the study. So this is not an application fee. This is enrollment fee once you have accepted your place. So you only pay once, and then transportation ticket, which is for every student to pay, and it will cover the public transportation for 6 months in Germany. So all the tuition fees are published on each of our programs on our webpage, so you can see whether the program is starting, for example, only in winter semester or it's starting in April semester. Also, you can see which campus the program is offered, and also the fee for European student is given in monthly installments. So anything between 600, 700, 800 euro per month. And if you want to know what is the annual tuition fee, those are 12 equal installments during the year. Regarding the Berlin Scholarship Program, if you want to apply for a scholarship with us, you need first to apply to the university, get accepted, get an offer, and only after you can actually apply for the scholarship. You will be asked to provide a small contribution, and this could be a project, a presentation, or small work or a portfolio for that. And also, again, it is on a case-by-case basis, so I could not tell you what would be the requirements for that. It depends on each student individual portfolio and presence. So regarding the application and the admission process, it's very straightforward in several simple steps. So the first step, of course, is to apply online with the help of Educat. You don't need to send any documents by post. Then you have a simple period of your documents being checked and then you will receive a study offer. If everything is okay after the study offer, you have a certain period for which is called guarantee of study place until you can think before you accept the offer. And then after you accept the offer, receive the offer, you should start applying for accommodation and then start your studies. So for European students, everything is very, as I said, straightforward. So I think I just missed one slide. This is a graph of the students and the university. So in Germany, we have about 240 University of Applied Sciences, and we have about 120 research universities, state universities. So you can see the graph here. 60% of the bachelor students prefer Applied Sciences University. Why? Because of the practical aspect of education. While, for example, 27% of the students prefer to go to a research university. So it's also another thing to consider. I will move back to the slides where we have the programs. So because probably you have forgotten what we offer, and then I'm open for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Emil. I will just, we'll come back to this slide. I'll just quickly flick through a slide on our slide, because I had a couple of questions about Germany as a whole, just to follow up on a couple of the things that you said. So I'll just quickly switch to Polish, and then we'll go back to some questions that have come in as well. Zgodnie z obietnicą kilka bardzo podstawowych, ale bardzo ważnych informacji również o studiowaniu w Niemczech na uczelniach publicznych. Pierwsze pytanie, jak w ogóle dostać się na uczelnie publiczne, na uczelnie prywatne? Tutaj ten proces będzie tak naprawdę dość podobny. Pierwszym i podstawowym kryterium, które jest brane przy rekrutacji, to jest skończona szkoła średnia, no więc jest to tutaj podobnie, w tym aspekcie przynajmniej, podobnie jak w Polsce. To, co będzie absolutnie kluczowe, to jest dopasowanie przedmiotów, które będziecie mieć na rozszerzeniu, i to tyczy się uczelni publicznych, jak i prywatnych, czyli tych i darmowych, i tych płatnych. Jeżeli przykładowo chcecie aplikować na, nie wiem, inżynierię, załóżmy, no tutaj dobrze byłoby mieć matematykę i fizykę na poziomie rozszerzonym. W przypadku innych krajów, jak na przykład Holandii, tutaj jeszcze byłby wymóg dodatkowy rozszerzenia chemii, tak? Mają tą strukturę zrobioną. Oprócz wyników maturalnych czy waszych ocen bieżących, dość istotną rolę odgrywa CV i odgrywa list motywacyjny, który jest załączany również do uczelni państwowych. W takim CV oczywiście nikt nie oczekuje od was w wieku 18-19 lat w przypadku aplikacji na studia licencjackie czy inżynierskie, nikt nie oczekuje od was nie wiadomo jakiego doświadczenia zawodowego. Tutaj bardziej chodzi o to w takim dokumencie, aby pokazać wasze zainteresowania, pokazać wasze dopasowanie do kierunku, na który aplikujecie, pokazać to, co robicie poza szkołą. Więc jeżeli macie jeszcze kilka lat do skończenia technikum czy do skończenia liceum, to tutaj gorąco zachęcam do tego, aby zaangażować się w różnego rodzaju projekty pozaszkolne, w projekty poza klasą. Mogą to być warsztaty, może to być udział w konferencjach, może to być wolontariat. Wszystkie te elementy dodają Wam punkty w tej rekrutacji do Niemczech, zresztą jak na całym świecie. Tutaj powiem szczerze, jest to bardzo ustandaryzowane, jeżeli chodzi o ten konkretny element. Jeżeli chodzi o wymogi językowe, to jest bardzo ważne pytanie. 92% kierunków na poziomie licencjackim w Niemczech są w języku niemieckim. Znakomita większość tych kierunków po angielsku znajdziecie je na uczelniach prywatnych. Jeżeli chodzi o wymogi językowe, tutaj jest wymagany certyfikat znajomości języka angielskiego w przypadku studiów po angielsku. Jest to IELTS, TOEFL albo Cambridge Advanced. W przypadku aplikacji na studia w języku niemieckim najczęstsze egzaminy to jest ten egzamin DSH czy DAF. Natomiast tutaj ważna rzecz, niektóre uczelnie, nawet jeżeli studia są oferowane w języku angielskim, również wymagają od Was podstawowej znajomości języka niemieckiego. Więc na to zawsze zwracam uwagę, bo nieraz mieliśmy już taką sytuację, że ktoś przychodził, rozpoczynaliśmy aplikację, no i później się okazywało, że ten kierunek akurat, na który ta osoba chciała aplikować, mimo że był prowadzony po angielsku, wymagał również certyfikatu z niemieckiego. Nie jest to częste, ale zdarza się, dlatego żeby mieć pewność, że aplikujecie na studia w 100% po angielsku, jeżeli na tym Wam zależy, to raczej poszedłbym w te uczelnie prywatne. Jeżeli nie boicie się języka niemieckiego, chcecie mieć troszeczkę szerszy wybór w kierunkach, no i co najważniejsze, chcecie studiować za darmo, bo te studia po niemiecku na uczelniach publicznych są rzeczywiście darmowe, to poszedłbym właśnie w tym kierunku. Natomiast ja myślę, że bardzo fajną statystykę Emil pokazał na końcu, to jest ta struktura osób studiujących na uczelniach Applied Sciences i uczelniach Research, czyli tych publicznych, państwowych. 60 do 27%. Myślę, że to jest przede wszystkim spowodowane właśnie możliwościami znalezienia zatrudnienia po uczelniach Applied Sciences i świetnymi relacjami z organizacjami zewnętrznymi i takim nastawieniem bardzo na naukę praktyczną. Często dostajemy pytania o medycynę i o fizjoterapię w Niemczech. Od razu mówię, te kierunki są oferowane tylko i wyłącznie w języku niemieckim w Niemczech na uczelniach państwowych, także no to zaznaczam, bo jest to dość popularne pytanie, często ono do nas spływa. Jeżeli chodzi o długość nauki, bo to też bardzo ważne, na uczelniach publicznych w Niemczech studia licencjackie trwają 3 lata, na uczelniach typu Applied Sciences ta nauka na poziomie licencjackim trwa 3,5 lub 4 lata. Ta różnica wynika głównie z tego, że ten dodatkowe pół roku czy dodatkowy rok jest poświęcony na praktyki, na tak zwane internshipy, które pomagają Wam później w znalezieniu pracy, więc myślę, że jest to dość istotne. Część niemieckich uczelni, tutaj raczej publicznych, będą też prosiły nie wszystkie oczywiście, ale część będą prosiły o wzięcie udziału w takim poziomującym teście, żeby zobaczyć Wasze dopasowanie do uczelni, do studiów w Niemczech. Najczęściej jest to taki test, on dużo skupia się na umiejętnościach miękkich, troszeczkę jest tam takiej logiki, takiego IQ. Absolutnie nie jest to nic strasznego, także to nie jest nic, do czego Wy musicie się dodatkowo przygotowywać i tyczy się to raczej tych uczelni publicznych. Na tych prywatnych raczej takich egzaminów, takich jak na SRH właśnie nie ma. Tutaj ta aplikacja jest naprawdę bardzo prosta i my oczywiście również w niej pomożemy. Tak jak widzicie tutaj na slajdzie, my pomagamy w tej aplikacji kompleksowo, czyli możemy Wam dobrać uczelnię i kierunek, podpowiemy, jakie są opcje na uczelniach prywatnych, jakie są opcje na uczelniach publicznych, przeprowadzimy Was przez proces, wspólnie napiszemy CV i list motywacyjny, więc myślę, że jest to dość ciekawa opcja. Emil, I want to hand over to you and I have received a couple of questions. The first one is, can you transfer between the campuses? So I assume someone is probably wondering, if they are in Berlin, can they, for the next year, transfer to, say, Dresden or one of the other cities?
I understand. Yeah, well, the programs in our campuses are different, and in this respect, it's not always possible to transfer because, for example, in Berlin we have creative programs, while in Heidelberg we don't have creative programs, so this wouldn't be possible. What we can offer, for example, however, is on a master level of studies, we have a 3-country master program where students will spend a semester in a different city, in a different country. So that's a master. For our bachelor programs, and especially the topic of transfers, I know many students are asking about this, for example, coming from one country and studying in another country. It's case by case. So, but if the question was only for SRH, it's
it's
not something that we plan.
yeah. All right. How long are the degrees? But I don't think this was mentioned. So because I guess the question stems from the idea that at research universities it's a slightly shorter degree, but at applied sciences it's a little bit longer. But there's an internship, so I guess this is where the question's coming from.
Yeah, I understand. So the bachelor program standard length is 3.5 years.
Right.
So 7 semesters, and some of our programs have the possibility to study fast track 3 years. So this is 6 semesters.
Another question from Violetta: is the DSD2 certificate acceptable instead of the Goethe language certificate? Which I guess the question applies to German spoken programs, while
Yes, absolutely. German programs are not the same as the English programs that we have, so I would recommend for the student to check first if the program is offered in German. This you can, of course, I can send a list of the programs to you and her, but also on our website, when you switch between English and German, you will see, because the German and the English programs are not the same. So most of our programs in English, and here is important to mention, are for international students. The German taught degrees are, let's say, 90% German students. So this is also important for the student when they consider the studies. It's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, if students are looking for international setting, they should opt for the English studies.
I think there you are. You froze for a bit. Another question: let me just scroll through. Which programs do you reckon offer the best career perspectives?
Oh, this is very, how to say, hard to answer, and I'll tell you what, because I believe that every student has his own preferences and aspirations, and I would say that taking the right choice is maybe 80% of the success. So imagine someone studying computer science only because it's well paid, but his passion is not really in computers, but rather in something creative like music or design. This personal aspirations and willingness to work extra hours and to read a lot outside of the universities is crucial for it. I would say that every program has a very good aspect of finding a job. Take tourism and hospitality, for example. Because of COVID, so many people are sought after for this. Take, for example, business psychology. Not many, the how to say, graduates are aware of psychology and business at the same time. Take business engineering, for example. There is nothing else like this program, especially in the Central Eastern European countries, when you can combine business and engineering at the same time. So you either go, in the old times for an engineer, but then you are want to be the manager of a factory, and you can't do it because you have zero managerial or economy experience, and you only know how to create the engineering work. Logistics and supply chain is a big deal worldwide, so I would say this is also a very good opportunity. And the same goes for the other programs. I know that students are always thinking about medicine, law, because those are considered very, how to say, prestige. Yeah, they're prestige. How to say, education and professions. But it's extremely hard to get into such kind of schools first time, and then second, maybe in your home country, it will be way easier. The shortcut to your job will be faster than in a foreign country. But of course, there are a lot of examples of students who manage to get to a medicine degree, but that's a different story.
Michał is asking, how international is the student body at SRH universities?
International in terms of students coming from different countries?
I would assume, yeah,
Yes,
I would
we
assume,
have
yeah.
that. I would say it's very international, not only from Europe. We have from South America, we have from Asia, we have students from the MENA region as well. So I would say it's very, very diverse, especially in the creative programs. I would say it's mostly students from Europe. In the other programs, it's more worldwide, let's say, student body.
I don't see any more. Let me just scroll through, but no, I don't see any more questions. I have left my direct email address here on the chat window. So if anybody would like to get in touch with me individually, jeśli ktoś chciałby się zapisać na indywidualną konsultację ze mną, porozmawiać o studiach w Niemczech, czy szerzej w ogóle o studiach za granicą, to serdecznie zapraszam do takiego kontaktu. Proszę, napiszcie maila. Jeżeli byście chcieli porozmawiać bezpośrednio z Emilem, to też możemy takie spotkanie zaaranżować one-on-one, najpewniej online, natomiast najprawdopodobniej Emil też będzie tutaj u nas w Polsce, więc też będzie możliwość spotkania. Jeżeli ktoś chciałby się dowiedzieć o tym, jakie są wymogi rekrutacyjne, jak zaaplikować na studia w Niemczech, na studia w SRH, to serdecznie zapraszam do kontaktu, szczególnie jeżeli jesteście teraz w klasie maturalnej i dopiero co pisaliście maturę i jeszcze nie wiecie, gdzie zaaplikować na studia, to do SRH możecie jeszcze aplikować na studia rozpoczynające się teraz w październiku 2024 roku, ale jeżeli zdajecie maturę w 2025, czyli za rok, to też już tak naprawdę moglibyśmy za aplikację się zabrać. Najlepiej aplikację na studia za granicą, w tym do Niemiec, jest złożyć mniej więcej na kilka miesięcy przed napisaniem matury. Znaczy czas tutaj to jest bardzo istotny. Czas potrzebny na przygotowanie aplikacji, tak? Bo samo złożenie aplikacji w systemach zależy od uczelni, zależy od kraju. Część systemów otwiera się w czerwcu, część otwiera się we wrześniu, część w styczniu, to bardzo zależy. Natomiast czas, aby dobrze przygotować aplikację, dobrze napisać list motywacyjny, CV, przygotować portfolio, jeżeli takie jest wymagane, przykładowo na SRH, na te kierunki bardziej artystyczne, designerskie, no jest tutaj wymagany na to czas, więc zapraszam do kontaktu. Jeżeli natomiast zdajecie maturę w 2026, 2027 i później, lub jeżeli zdajecie i obecnie jesteście na pierwszym lub drugim roku studiów licencjackich, to tutaj tego czasu troszeczkę jeszcze jest, natomiast też zapraszam do kontaktu, możemy porozmawiać o waszych planach, mogę coś podpowiedzieć, jak najlepiej zaplanować tą naukę w najbliższym czasie, tak aby z sukcesem zaaplikować do SRH, do Niemiec, czy szerzej patrząc na studia za granicą. Także adres mailowy zostawiam niżej. Emil, thank you very much again for joining us. It was a pleasure to learn about Germany, about SRH in particular. I've learned a couple of new things. I guess one never stops learning. So I've taken some notes as well, and we'll be passing it on to students who get in touch with us. Again, thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you soon, and hopefully in Poland.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Adam, for this. Thank you all for your interest in SRH. Please don't hesitate to contact me, ask any questions. There's a lot of other things to be mentioned about Germany and SRH, and especially to understand why this worth actually going to SRH and choose our programs. Thank you very much, everyone, and yeah, see you soon in Poland or Germany.
Thank you very much. Have a very good evening.
Have a good evening. Bye.